Hi everybody, this is lecture for week 12, lecture 1, and this is part 2 of the lecture 1. Okay, uh, in this lecture you are seeing a new topic, which is topic 9. This topic is about theories related to incentives and compensation. Okay, let's see. The first thing that is shown in this notes is management, accounting, and control system. See here, management, accounting, and control systems, or MACS, provides information to monitor and assess whether the corporate objectives are being achieved. So MACS is related to MACS is a system that produce information that can be used to monitor and assess the about whether a corporate objective is being achieved or not yet. Okay, let's see about this MACS. So it is related to this is a system, and the system is functioning to assess about the to assess whether a business achieves its objective or not. Okay, so let's see. Design of MACS, technical and behavioral considerations in MACS. Technical consideration, quality of information, and the second one is comprehensive and include all activities across the value chain. So this must be related to make sure that the system is effective. So these are the technical considerations that has to be technical things that have to be considered when designing the system. So, and then when a business design the MACS, the business also has to consider several behavioral aspects. So see the first point there, effectiveness of MACS design based on the scientific management school or human relations movement. So it must be carefully designed and must consider things that are taught in management school or the human relation movement. So I think I'm not sure why this MACS is supposed to be covered in this topic, but let's see what we can learn about this. MACS needs to play a behavioral influencing role through first comprehensive code of ethics based on legal rules, societal norms, professional memberships, organizational or group norms, and personal norms. Second, a mix of short and long-term qualitative and quantitative performance measures. That is about what gets measured get done, but need to choose measures carefully. And the third point here that you can see is an appropriate incentive system to reward performance. So these are the things, behavioral aspects that have to be considered when a business or a company design MACS, management, accounting, and control system. That's it. But remember, the title of this topic is about the theories related to the incentive. Okay, let's see. Okay, what is a theory? Okay, remember this. Theory explains about something. Theory explains about something. It is not fact. It explains about something. Theories are things that are found as true by the person who made the theories. There are many theories out there. So theories can be challenged. Theories explains about something. That explanation can be challenged. Let's say one person made a theory or introduced a theory about something. This theory says A will cause B to happen. So that is a theory. A theory explains something. This theory can be challenged. Other person can introduce or propose another theory. Maybe C cause B to happen. So, or C, A and C cause B to happen. So that is the thing about theory. It is something. A theory explains about something. It is not a fact. A theory is made by somebody called theorist, and a theory can be challenged. Maybe this theory is valid at this point of time, but later it is challenged by another theory and it obsolete. It can be happen like that. Or this theory is valid at this time and nobody can challenge it yet, so it is acceptable as something true. Okay, so remember, a theory explains something. It is not a fact, but it explains something. It can be acceptable and it can be challenged. Okay, let's see. This is the first theory that you can see here, related to the performance measurement or something. Okay, agency theory. These are the explanation. An agency relationship occurs when the principal hires the agent to perform a service that requires the principal to delegate certain decision-making authority to the agent. Okay, agency theory is the basic word here is agent. So this theory explains about the relationship between two parties, principal and agent. The principal, according to this theory, the principal hires the agent to do something. Agency relationship happen or exist when somebody hire another person to do something for him or her. So the person who hire the agent is called principal. In an organization or in a business, in a modern business organization, there may be two levels of principal-agent relationship. The first level is board of director and top management team. Okay, the thing is like this. in a modern business organization, particularly in a business listed in stock exchange, the thing is like this. The business is owned by shareholders. Shareholders appoint a board of directors. Shareholders appoint directors, and these directors work in a team called board of directors. So basically, board of directors, these directors are the owner of the business. But the directors, most of the time, they do not manage the business. In companies like Asia, Petronas, what else? Big companies. Malaysian Airline System. There are many big companies out there listed in stock exchange. The owner of this business, the owner of these companies are shareholders. They own the business, but they do not manage the business. They have money. They invested money in the business, but they do not manage the business. They hire managers to manage the business. The highest level manager is called CEO. So basically, the relationship between the owner of the business or the board of directors and the managers is an agency relationship. It is a principal-agent relationship. The principal is the owner of the business, and the owner of the business hire managers headed by the CEO to manage the business. Like Petronas. Petronas is owned by the shareholders. Shareholders appoint the board of directors. So the board of directors basically represent the owner. The board of the directors do not manage the business. They just monitor, basically. But they hire managers to manage the operation of the business. So the board of directors, they hire CEO. CEO is the highest level manager in a company. Under the CEO, there are many more managers. So the first principal agent relationship that you can see in a company is between the auditor and the top management. Between the board of director is the owner of the business, and the manager, the CEO and his team is the manager. The board of director is the principal, and the manager is the agent. The principal asks the manager to do things. Okay, top level management. And the second level in a company, there is also another principal agent relationship. This can be seen like the thing that you the second and third box, blue box in this slide. Top management team and decentralized unit managers. Basically, the relationship between these two parties also can be seen as principal agent relationship. Top management team, they have several power or authorities, and they hire or ask lower level managers or decentralized unit managers to do things on their behalf. So now, in the first principal agent relationship, the board of director is the principal. The top management team is the agent. But in the second level of principal agent relationship, the top management team is the principal. And the lower level managers or decentralized unit managers are the agents. So basically, you have to understand, in the agency theory, this theory explains the principal and agent relationship. The principal, basically the one who hires the agent and asks the agent to do things on their behalf. Okay. See the third point here in this slide. The agency theory assumes that agent seeks to balance returns from and costs of his or her effort. Agents bears no moral burden. Point number 4, incentive compensation plans are to align agents' interests with those of the principals. and to minimize agency or monitoring costs. Okay, the agency theory assumes or or explains that agent seeks to balance return from and cost of his or her effort. Okay, so see here, in the principal agent relationship, see the first relationship. Board of director is the owner of the company. The top management team is the agent. Board of director wants the manager to do things in their way. Okay, most of the time the board of director wants the manager to make profit for the business, because the principal, the board of directors are people who invested money, so they want highest return from the investment. So they ask the agent, the top manager, to do things to make profit, highest profit that they can. But the agency theory explains that agent seeks to balance return from and cost of his or her effort. So agent, the top management team, they do things according to the return that they can get, or according to the cost that they have to pay. Not that they do things 100% that the principal want. So this theory explains, if you are a principal, you cannot expect that your agent will do 100% the things that you tell them to do. But the agent will do things based on the return that they can get and based on the cost that they have to pay. So that is what agency theory explains. Agent bears no moral burden. Board of director has a burden because they have invested money. They want the return. But agent has no that kind of burden. Agents are like workers. They want things. They want reward for what they are doing. Not that they have the burden to do 100% of the things that the principal says. Morally, it is correct to say that agent has it is compulsory for the agent to do things required by the principal. That is morally. But agency theory explains what are the things that are happening. The principal, agents, these are what the agency theory explains about agent. Agent seeks to balance return from and cost of his or her effort. They do not care. Most of the time, agent do the thing that they can do. They want that they do things according to the return that they can get and the cost that they have to pay. Okay, incentive compensation plans are to align the agent's interests with those of the principal and to minimize agency or monitoring costs. So, for the principal to make sure that the agents do things that the principal wants, the board of the principal use incentive compensation plan. So the things like this, the agency theory said, if you want your agent to do things your way, you have to create incentive compensation plan that can push the agent to do things that you want. Okay, an agency problem exists when the goals or interests of the principal and agent are not in alignment. So, agency theory says the interests of the principal and the interests of the owner are not aligned. Like I said earlier, principal in the context of the relationship between board of director and manager, the board of director or the owner of the business, their interest is to make maximum profit. But the interest of the manager is, first, they want to keep their job. They do not want to be terminated. That is their interest. They do not care whether the business is making maximum profit or not, but they want their position as a manager is secured, and they want maximum salary and bonus, etc. That is their interest. So this misalignment or not alignment between the interests of principal and agent is called agency problem. Okay, see here the example. Principal wishes employees promoted solely based on merit, while agent considers his friendship and with employees as well as merit. So I'm not sure about this example, but I'm sure that the goal or interest of the principal is different. According to the agency problem, the goal of principal is always different compared to the goal of the agent. Okay, according to the agency theory, there are several types of agency problem. Several types of agency problem. It means that according to this theory, the relationship between the principal and agent has several problems. Okay, the first one is called risk aversion. The shareholders or board of directors prefer high risk because high risk is associated with high return. But managers prefer to take less risk because if they take high risk, the company can collapse then and they can lose their job. So in another way, we can say that principal prefer to take risk, but a manager do not want to take risk. So that is the one agency problem. If you have an agent, let's say in the future you have a company, you own the company. So you own the company, you have invested money in the company. You don't have time, or most of the time you do not want to manage the business because you have a lot of money. So you hire a manager, you hire a CEO to manage your business. So according to the agency theory, the thing that can happen is you want the CEO or the manager to take risk because you want high return from your investment, but the manager or the CEO, he do not want to take risk because he want to secure his job and to have stable career or salary. So that is one problem, agency problem. The second type of agency problem is called dividend retention. In the context of board of director manager relationship, managers prefer to retain the earnings for investment. Okay, if you own a business, you are the principal, you hire a manager to manage the business. If the business is making profit, you as the owner of the business want dividend, but the manager, he wants to keep the profit and to reinvest the profit so that the future of the business is good, he can still working, etc. So that is the second problem. The third problem is horizon disparity. In the context of board of director and manager relationship, it is like this. Let's say you are the board of director, you are the owner of the business, you are the principal, you hire a CEO, and then the horizon disparity problem is like this. you, the owner of the business, you are thinking about the long term. Because you own the business, you want the business continue to exist, you want the business to continue to make profit in the long term for many years. But the CEO or the manager, their horizon is short term. They want the business to make profit and to do well, mostly during their time as the manager of the business only. They do not think about, most of the time they do not think about the betterment of the business beyond the time they are working in the business. Okay, that is the type 3 of agency problem. Okay, so you have seen the three agency problems. So agency problems in which the principal can fully and costlessly monitor the agent are easily dealt with through contracts that stipulate exactly what the agent is or has to do. More serious agency problems arise when the principal can neither fully or costlessly monitor the agent. So you have seen the agency theory explains that there are three agency problems. So how the way the principal solve this agency problem is through using contracts, employment contracts. When the principal or board of director hire a CEO, they write a contract. The CEO has to sign a contract before accepting the position as a CEO. The principal or board of directors use the contract or design the contract to make sure that the manager works for them. So they use the contract to minimize the agency problem. So these are 2 points explanation here. Recall that costly monitoring can result in mixed strategy equilibria in which there is not full monitoring and thus undesired behavior. Hence, even when monitoring is feasible, it is costly, may also wish to use incentive contract. So another thing that the principal can use is the monitoring. They use something as a mechanism to monitor the behavior of the agent, so that the agent always work according to what the principal wants. So one of the monitoring mechanism that is used by the principal is the auditing. In modern companies, the CEO is responsible to prepare the financial statement. So the principal, the board of director, what the board of director do to make sure that the CEO produce true and fair financial statement. The thing that they do is they hire auditor. They hire external auditor, and also they can hire internal auditors. Auditors are an example of control mechanisms used by the principal or the board of director to monitor the manager. And there are several more mechanisms, I think, but auditing or auditor is one of the control mechanism used by the board of director to monitor the manager. Okay, let's see. Moral hazard in corporation. Okay, that is moral hazard is also still related to the agency problem. A hidden action problem is an agency problem in which some of the agent's actions are unobservable to the principal. For example, agent may know how much effort, negative pleasure he is exerting on a problem, but the principal may be
unable to observe or measure his effort directly. It is also called a moral hazard problem. Okay, moral hazard problem is another agency problem. This problem is, according to this explanation, the problem is like this. The principal has no complete information about how the agent behave. The agent can do, see here, the agent do not put 100% effort. They can if they want. The principal would not know. So that is called moral hazard in corporation, or moral hazard problem. The principal does not know 100% about what the agent is doing. Okay, so that is moral hazard problem. Okay, this is the last theory related to supposed to be covered in this topic. The theory is called motivation theory. Okay, I just want to refresh your memory. A theory explains something. A theory is not fact. It's not a fact. A theory is something that is proposed as true by the person who made the theory, and a theory can be challenged. So this is another theory. This theory explains about something. The name of the theory is motivation theory, the expectancy theory. So maybe this theory explains about motivation. Let's see. The expectancy valence theories are frequently cited to explain the influence of incentives on human behavior. Okay, remember this is a theory. Maybe it is correct, maybe it is not, but it is said as correct or proposed as true by the person who made the theory. It is not easy to make a theory. It takes many years, many research, many testing. Then if the idea is supported by the data, then a person can propose a theory. Okay, this is a explanation for this thing. Okay, so let's see. Monetary rewards or incentives, see the second point, monetary rewards or incentives increase the valence or desirability of successful task outcome or task performance. So this is what the theory explains. Monetary rewards increase the will or the desirability of successful task outcome. So the theory said, if you want somebody to do things, you have to provide them or promise them a monetary rewards. Okay, the higher the valence or desirability of successful task performance, the greater will be the motivational force or push to achieve success. So monetary reward leads to high will or desire to do or to perform tasks. The higher the will, the valence of successful task performance, the greater the motivational force or push to achieve success. The incentive in motivation increases the willingness to expend time and or effort to attain the task or organizational goal. So that is the basic idea. The effectiveness of incentive, however, is a function of skill and knowledge of the decision maker. So this theory basically explains that if you for a if a person or a principal wants the another person or an agent to do things his way, he has to use monetary rewards. Monetary rewards will push people to do their tasks, to perform well, to achieve what is supposed to achieve. Okay, so but the effectiveness of the monetary incentive is a function of the skill and knowledge of the decision maker. But the effectiveness of the monetary incentive is only can be achieved if the person who designed the incentive plan has the skill and knowledge. So you cannot just offer people money to do things. You have to be a person that has skill and knowledge about it. Then you can use the incentive to motivate or to push people to do things. Okay, that is what the motivation theory explains about the monetary rewards or incentive and the task performance and the financial success. Thank you very much. This is the end of this lecture video. Write your name and metric number in the comment section. I will take that as your lecture attendance. Thank you very much.